This episode is sponsored by Zenro Clothing Co. Pick up your tees and or accessories at zenroclothingco.com and be sure to use offer code Socrates at checkout for 20% off select items. Also, if you're not into spending the money, just check out the Zenrail radio playlist. zenrailclothingco.com, music for your everyday. This episode also sponsored by The Pointy Bakery. If you're located in the Pointy area of Scarborough, Toronto, be sure to check out The Pointy Bakery, say what's up to Arville, and pick up a donut or two. Baked daily, crafted with love. This episode also sponsored by Podbean. Podbean is the podcasting platform of choice. It's the one that me and Vish use, and is great, you know, if you're looking to start that DIY podcast yourself. Definitely check out Podbean. Use the link podbean.com/SocraticGamers and gain 1 month of unlimited podcasting for free. Test it out, build that content. Anyone can podcast, right, Vish?
Yep.
Start a podcast and get your ideas out there. All right, enjoy the episode. Okay, let's start off with the amendments from last week. So the first thing was Carly. It's Carly, not Cassie. And I kept saying Cassie and that whole thing, and you were getting confused, and I was like, well, what do you mean Cassie, bro? And like, yeah, so
because I was thinking when he said Cassie, my thought was the one in Madhupur.
Yeah, the blonde girl. Yeah. What's even her name?
Sharon, I think.
Sharon. Okay, so yeah, no, they weren't even close. So yeah, no. Carly. I don't know how I was thinking Cassie. It was so weird. But yeah, the main bad girl, the supremacist, is Carly. So that's one down. Also, you looked up what TT means? Yeah,
it's like it's a mixture in the South. I guess they use it, but it's like there's a French word that the aunt starts with the T and then
on T.
Yeah.
On TT.
Yeah.
TT.
So, yeah.
Is that actually how it, like what it is, or like auntie?
Well, no, the auntie is the English version. There's a French one. I think it starts with the T. So it just kind of like formed into.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Is it Tanti? I'm just kidding.
I don't know how to say it in French. So.
Okay, so there's that. So you looked into that, and the final one is that I thought that the Witcher stuff was indoor, but they tricked me with the box lighting. So It looked like it was in a warehouse because like there was the way the light was, and then you're like, no, that's outdoors, and then you like showed me the difference in the sky. You're like, you could see the sky, but then the box light, I'm like, oh wow, that tripped me out. So yeah, they weren't making indoor sets. They actually visited locations and
they would have indoor sets for like indoor scenes, I would say.
Right, totally, yeah. So there are amendments. Okay, so what's his name? Ben Askren fought Jake Paul yesterday. All right, so I was thinking, I was actually quite sad when it happened because it was in the first round.
Right.
And that was just like disturbingly quick. But then looking back at it, it actually makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So when they were posting the highlights, like he was posting his own highlights, and he had like no hands, you know, all of like the boxing stuff was like very basic, and like he only did one class with a boxing coach and like all this stuff.
Who are we talking about?
Ben Askren.
Okay.
So the other guy's like he's like training with a lot of boxers and stuff.
He's done other exhibition fights.
Right, but he's fought KSI.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was KSI.
Yeah.
That might have been his brother. Another YouTube star.
Oh, yeah. Deji.
Yeah, I don't know.
KSI's brother? Or
No, it might have been
Logan
Paul who fought KSI. I can't remember one of the Pauls. And then
I think it was Logan.
Logan? Okay, cool. So then he fought Nate Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
Basketball player.
Jeez.
And then he fought Ben Askren, who's a retired wrestler who just had hip surgery.
Okay.
And we saw his body.
Yeah.
It's like you weren't training.
I don't think you were training.
Yeah, no, you were not training. Well, he did say that. He was like, leading up to this fight, he was like literally on the couch. He got the call and he's like, wow, that's a lot of money. So he's like, all right, cool. But then I was listening to GSP talk about it, and he's like, he talked to Freddie Roach, who's GSP's boxing trainer, and also Manny Pacquiao's boxing trainer.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben Askren only went to him for 1 week. And then he's like,
okay,
I hope he's taking this seriously. But then I started thinking about it. It's like when you train with people, you have to pay them. So when you win a UFC fight, if you win like a bonus, that bonus pays for like the salary of everyone that worked for you, like the nutritionist, the trainer, all that stuff, right? That's stuff you don't see in like UFC, right? Or like boxing, right? So maybe he just didn't want to pay out more from his purse for something. He's like, yeah, I don't really care about this fight. He kept saying, I don't really care about this. This is like literally a money fight for me.
Yeah, so that's what it felt like.
Yeah, but it did. It's almost like, I'm gonna pay you he got $500,000 for that fight. Yeah. So he's like, I'm gonna give you $500,000 to let me knock you out, basically.
Okay.
You know, and like he didn't wrestle. I tuned in because I wanted to see if it got dirty. Like, would he wrestle him to the ground, like accept the penalty, stuff like that? No, he literally boxed him, and it was like pretty terrible. Yeah. But he was never known for his striking, Ben Askren. Right. It was always like the best wrestler.
So why him though? Like why?
So he called out Dylan Dennis, who's also a jiu-jitsu player.
Okay. Who did? Who
grappler. What's his name? Jake Paul, yeah.
Okay.
And that guy just had surgery as well. Okay. So he asked Ben Askren. So basically he's asking all these people who don't know how to box. Okay. Right? So when you really think about it, it's like, because like I was looking in the comments, like, oh, you got to put some respect on his name. You know, he has some skill. He's like, yeah, he's got some skill, but he's also fought no boxers. Like literally no boxers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then that's what I saw some of the comments too, and it's like, yeah, it totally makes sense. Like
what is the interest in this fight? Like why?
Social media.
I get
clout,
that.
He's a clout guy.
Right. So that's why. So he would be the one getting paid out more because he's the one bringing in the audience.
Yeah, he got $600,000 for this fight.
Oh, it's only 100,000 difference.
Yeah, I guess. But who's putting the money up? I think this promotion is Mike Tyson's promotion, the Triller thing. But like, if you watched it, I know you didn't see like the leading up to the fight, but it was just basically like concert after concert. It was like,
I saw bits of it. Yeah. I was like,
there was 5 fights on the card, and there was like so many like shows. Like Ice-T was there.
Okay.
Justin Bieber
I get it.
up.
So it's really just
straight entertainment.
Yeah.
And then the fight before that, you didn't see that one, but like. It was like a grudge match between like 2 guys, and they're fighting over a girl or something like that. I can't remember. So weird. But they were like pros. They were pros.
Oh, okay.
I think they were pros. And then the one guy, he gets hit in the side, and then he's like drops on the ground, and he's like screaming that you gave me a low blow. So the ref was like, okay, you get 5 minutes to recover, and they play back the scene. He didn't even hit him. Like they played back the replay because they're like, was that a low blow? So they played it.
Right.
And like he didn't even hit him. He didn't hit him with a low blow, and 2, he was a glancing blow. He didn't even do a solid hit. The guy just wanted out. And that's what the announcer was saying. Like he just wants out of the fight.
Right. Yeah.
So he's like acting super hard.
Yeah.
Which is like, it reminded me of that guy, remember, who won with the DQ knee?
Yeah.
I remember he was like so stunned, but then he would do the interview afterwards. He went to the after party. It's like, yeah, how stunned are you, bro? You know? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I guess, part of the entertainment.
I know, but it made me think, like, after watching Ben Askren lose so hard, I was like, this is what we've come to, in 2020. We're watching celebrity fights. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean,
so ridiculous.
I remember when that thing started, like the YouTuber versus a YouTuber.
Yeah.
It was just like,
I think somebody was like, we can make a lot of money off this. Yeah.
Right. No. Yeah. There was money in it because, well, those people had fans that wanted to watch that thing, right? Because they built it up, whatever. But it's like the outsiders was more like just kind of making fun of it.
Right. Yeah.
But
totally,
now it's like, you know, it's getting bigger and bigger because they're getting other guys that are not YouTubers to fight in it.
Right.
That's what's creating this more of an entertainment now.
And in the last fight when he fought Nate Robinson, and he won, he said like his brother.
I remember the memes from that.
Yeah, it's brutal. Logan was saying how he's like, they're not dumb. They choose their opponents correctly.
Right.
So I'm like, when I heard that, I was like, oh, this makes sense. Like, that's why you're picking all non-boxers. But the lay person, like the person who's like not really, like the little kid who's a fan of Jake Paul, like, oh my God, amazing boxer. But it's like, yeah, but he didn't fight any boxers though.
Yeah.
right? If you actually think
No,
about
no,
it,
that's true. That's true.
Ben's a wrestler.
Yeah.
And yeah, and boxing too, like, because then I went and watched like Canelo Alvarez and like Floyd Mayweather, like the real boxers, and it's like that's a whole different game to MMA.
Yeah.
So if you fight an MMA fighter in a boxing match, you're probably gonna win because they're learning like multitude of skills, whereas like a boxer has mastered a specific skill set. That's why when they're doing the head movement and it's like, oh my god, you're godly, like because they're just like avoiding all the hits, like glancing blows, like Canelo's amazing at that, right? But it's like, yeah, he doesn't have to worry about knees,
Right.
so all you have to do is just you have to get really good at moving your head and your torso.
Yeah.
But if you introduce like leg kicks, you can't do any of that head movement anymore. That's why you don't see that kind of head movement in MMA, because like
No.
they'll just get kicked in the face.
Yeah. I mean, there's different rules to the game.
Yeah, right. So or even we saw we didn't talk about this last week, but Mighty Mouse, I was really excited for. He went from UFC to 1FC, but like the knees on the ground were allowed in 1FC, and he got knocked out with knees on the ground because you never trained it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, of course, in your different rule set, you're gonna be like different. You're gonna like have a disadvantage. Yeah, because even the way like that, the quote unquote goat of the UFC, like the flyweight goat, Mighty Mouse, when he was trying to get up, you could see it was like, yeah, it was a clear knee shot right there, but it's like, yeah, but he was getting up the UFC way. You know what I mean? Like he didn't think to, like, he's never really trained with knees on the ground, right? Only until recently. You know, most of his career, like, knees are illegal. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a whole different. Yeah, it is a way different movement for boxing because you just have to worry about the top half, right? It's like you're dodging only the punches.
Actually, and also on the card, yeah, totally. Because also on the card too, Frank Mir, another UFC fighter, fought a boxer, and he lost, but he lost in decision. But again, you could see it's like it's totally different. Like Frank Mir, if this was an MMA fight, he would win in 30 seconds.
Right.
But because you're just boxing, like there's no like grab, takedown, ground and pound, none of that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And I saw this other thing, like, these people have ruined the sport of boxing. And I'm like, yeah, I could see that. Like, you watch this now and you're like, boxing's kind of a joke. You know? Like, Jake Paul beating an he also won an Olympic medal, the guy he fought.
Oh.
I think.
For wrestling.
For wrestling, yeah.
Yeah, that's still.
So it's like.
But what's the age difference between the two?
37 and 25.
Okay.
So, I don't know, there's 12-year difference.
Yeah. So yeah, it's still a huge difference.
Yeah, and the dude literally got off the couch because he was resting up his knee, his hip surgery.
Yeah. I mean, he looked like
you could see it on his body. You're like, yeah, you just got off the couch. Yeah, it's weird. It almost reminds me of like those olden days when like, but this is more on like a crazier level when like Mike Tyson would fight in those exhibition fights with like. He fought this like really fat boxer guy, but it was like an exhibition fight. It was just like it wasn't serious again. So like it kind of reminds me of those days, like this, like why are they sanctioned boxers? Why is this considered a legit boxing match with a boxing record?
I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with the person that made that meme who said you've ruined the sport of boxing, because like it's kind of a joke.
Yeah. And none of those guys will go into the UFC style or the.
No, after after Conor lost to Floyd, Floyd is making these like suggestions that he'd fight in an MMA fight.
He's not going to.
No, well he fought in, I believe it was 1FC against a kickboxer. A boxing.
Oh, he
match.
did
a boxing match though.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So again, kickboxer, boxing, like
they don't. Yeah.
The other dude.
You're building up
no
the
hands.
different types of muscles here. Yeah.
Yeah, totally right.
Yeah.
And Floyd Mayweather too was also like bigger than the kickboxer, and Floyd Mayweather's a small guy.
Yeah. So
it's just weird. It's weird to me.
He's not going to do anything with UFC.
No. I think he's supposed to fight Logan Paul, Floyd Mayweather, but there's been no not enough interest. Like they didn't sell enough, so they just paused the fight until they could sell more.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, that could be interesting, but like
that would be interesting because someone who's an actual boxer.
Yeah, totally. And also, Logan Paul is a lot taller than Floyd.
Right.
Like he's like 6 foot or something.
Oh,
So it's like it could end badly, but who knows? Because like you're fighting a much larger dude.
Yeah, I don't know if that's. I mean, height is considered, right? Or is it just weight?
No, yeah. This would be an exhibition match, so it's like all that's out the window.
Yeah, okay.
They're just like, let it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very weird. And the guy who fought Jake Paul, they weighed in, right? And he was 190, right? Okay. And Ben Askren was 190 as well. But it's like 190 of muscle and 190 of unfitness. You know what I mean? Like, what is your optimal weight, Ben? I don't think it's 190. Yeah. You look literally like you got off the couch.
Yeah. He looked like he just got, even the way he looked. Like
it was like, what are you doing in here, bro?
Tired, just lazy.
Yeah.
Lazy look.
And he kept repeating, like, this is just a payday.
Like, well, it's easy because he was saying that, so.
He knew.
Yeah.
Weird times. But this is actually, it started tripping me out too, because then, like, on to our next topic, the 3 UFOs over the USS Russell. So you didn't see that video until yesterday or whatever?
Yeah, I saw the picture, but I thought it was just that one
picture.
Like that one white dot on that green image. I thought it was just the one.
Okay, no,
I didn't know there was 3.
Yeah,
3.
And you see like the actual film, like it moving around, like the filming, and then the other picture of the fighter pilot guy who took it with his like cell phone
it looks
or
like
something.
It's similar to that.
Dude, that's crazy. So, and you were saying like they're here.
Yeah, they're here.
So if we look at it in totality, we have ridiculous celebrity boxing fights, worldwide pandemic, and aliens. What are we doing with our lives, bro? Like, this is 2020 and beyond.
It's 2021 right now, so.
And beyond. So 2020 and beyond.
Right. Like all the strangeness started then.
Yeah, it started 2020. Even though that footage was in 2019 of the 3 whatever.
Right.
But I guess they were leading up to it, you know? Like yeah, but they didn't admit that was actual footage until recently. Okay. So that the Jeremy Corbell dude, have you seen that doc yet? Oh, his doc is so good. With Bob Lazar?
Probably not.
Oh, it's so good.
I haven't watched any of those docs.
You should watch it. It's really compelling. And then I have this other one on Apple. It's also really compelling. But anyways.
On Apple?
Yeah. What?
On Apple?
It's called The Phenomenon, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And like they like interview people who've like actually interact with aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just check it out. It's really crazy. But so like the Bob Lazar doc guy, like Jeremy Corbell, he like found the footage, leaked it, and then the government like 2 days ago was like, yeah, this is real footage.
Mm-hmm.
But it took so long for them to like admit it. So, but what's crazy is when we were kids, you remember Blink-182?
Yeah.
Okay, so Tom DeLonge in their Take Off Your Pants and Jacket CD, like the documentary of like behind the scenes. I watched that because I love that band, and like Tom DeLonge was always talking about aliens. Like even in the thing, I reposted like a video of it from that documentary where he was like, we all thought he was just joking, you know, or like maybe there is something, but who really knows? You know. And then you grow up and you're like, oh, let's forget about that. But now we're coming back, and like the Jeremy Corbell guy is like praising Tom DeLonge. George Knapp praising Tom DeLonge. Even when Tom DeLonge was on the freaking Joe Rogan, he sounded crazy.
Yeah.
But then all these other people are praising Tom DeLonge. And I'm like, what did this guy know the whole time he's trying to tell us the truth?
Maybe did he experience something?
No. He said it all started when he was like driving. So like he said, there's a lot of time when you're in a band just driving the car.
Yeah.
So he just picked up these alien books and he read like all of them.
Oh, I see.
And he's just like, dude, there's something going on here.
Yeah.
So then with his like connections in the band, he met with like politicians, and then they connected him to like higher ups in like Area 51 and stuff. Isn't that weird? Like, dude, that sounds so far fetched, but you're like, oh, it's real. Yeah. I remember that movie that we watched like a long time ago. It was like you, me, I think France and my sister, and then
the alien abduction thing.
Yeah, you remember that, right?
I remember that. What was it called?
I don't know, but we gotta find that. That scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I couldn't even like watch.
It was somewhere in Canada too, right, or something.
Yeah,
like that? Yeah.
Because they played like in that movie, they played like the real footage and the dramatization. We gotta find that.
What was that called? That was pretty good.
That was a really good one. Yeah,
because I don't think you knew what it was until near the end. Like what?
That it was like aliens, visiting this town.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so trippy. But like, it's so hard to. It's weird to me because like you say it and you're like people think you're crazy, but then it's like, but look at the evidence, and then you're like, how many people are not paying attention to it when it's like happening? Well, I guess because of COVID, right? So that's why they can.
Well, yeah, that's why they're more focused on other things right now. Like if we can go outside or not.
Yeah, totally right. So it's like we can just leak all this like alien stuff now because nobody will pay attention.
Yeah. It's already crazy. This stuff is minor crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
It's that kind of level.
Yeah, but it's weird though. Like watching, like I watched Brian Greene. And I watched Elon Musk and on the Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And they're both like, we don't pay attention to this alien stuff at all. And I'm like, why are you not? The only person was Avi Loeb, and he's like a Harvard PhD person who has tenure. And he was saying because he has tenure, it doesn't matter what he writes. He also doesn't have social media. So he's like, I'm just going to put out scientifically what I know. So he put out the book. And I read that book. And it was like, it's like, he's not saying what it is. He's saying, why don't we study it more to figure out what it is? It doesn't hold the characteristics of what mainstream science has been saying about it. Like, so like the Oumuamua, the thing in the sky that passed by Earth. Yeah. People are like, oh, it's like a dust cloud or something like that. But he's like, no, it holds none of those properties. So then how come like Brian Greene, he's like, my eyes glaze over, but he's talking about quantum physics and like multiple universes, but you don't want to look into aliens? Makes no sense. Elon Musk too, trying to get to Mars, doesn't care about aliens. Like, what the hell?
Well, it's not helping us in any way, right? In their sense, they're just studying something.
So they just deleted it from their minds.
That's not even deleting it from their minds.
No, they literally said like we just do not register.
No, because it's like it's like there's already way too many questions. We don't know anything about that anyway. So why focus on it when we can focus on something else that we're also studying?
I suppose, but he cares about Bitcoin. He cares about Bitcoin. He cares about memes, trolling, NFTs.
Yeah,
he don't care about aliens. So, see what I'm saying? It's like you could make that argument, like what you're saying, but it's like, but you care about.
Well, let's talk more about the Brian Greene. I mean, Elon Musk is a different bag.
Okay, yeah. But like, okay, so for Brian Greene's one, you're talking about multiple parallel universes, but you don't want to talk about like aliens visiting us from another planet.
Well, they're focusing on what they are studying from Matt's, right? It's the aliens is a story we don't know. If they're UFOs, they're not saying aliens, they're saying UFOs, right?
Yeah, that's true. But Jeremy Corbell, sorry, keep getting his name mixed up. Jeremy Corbell, he was saying that like when you classify it as a UFO, that means it's not any of the things that you know of. So it's not a weather balloon, it's not a drone, it's like unidentified. Yeah. But he's like really let that sink in because like people are like, oh, it's just a weather balloon. Oh, it's just alien technology. Like not alien tech. It's like advanced technology we don't know about. Yeah. But it's like, no, they would rule it as one of those things. But ruling it as UFO means that it's something you really have no idea about.
Yeah.
So you can't take that lightly. So it's like, what is this crazy technology? Yeah. And nobody seems to care. It's weird to me. But I guess it's also like nobody seems to care about like.
Well, it's not like that. I think there might be other people that are more interested in doing it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Because everyone has different interests. Not everybody can understand quantum physics as much as the other guy.
Yeah, true, but just like we're so caught, like societally, we're so caught up in like superficial things.
Well, yeah, society normally has to be because you're just worried about food on the table, right?
Yeah.
What do you have to think about aliens? What is it going to change? How's that going to change your life?
Yeah, I suppose. But doesn't that seem like a very like pacifist way to move through life?
I think that's what most of it's like.
What, just like
yeah,
just like what do you call that? You're like in the Matrix.
yeah,
Literally, like you're like the pod.
That was the point of that. Yeah, that was the point of that movie.
Yeah, it's true actually. Yeah, and then Neo was the only one that was like awake, and he's like, "I gotta watch that movie. Yeah, I gotta watch that movie again. I know you're watching Star Wars again. Like we put that back on, but now I kind of want to watch the Matrix trilogy because that thing had some crazy messages.
Right?
In there.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that one scene where he's like awake in a sea of people. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, that is kind of how it is sometimes, you know. Or even like, or another example, like psychedelics now showing a lot of prominent health benefits, but the old narrative is still playing on top of the new narrative.
The old narrative is still there because the old generation is still here. That they have been taught that for generations, right?
Yeah, right, totally.
So only when that goes.
I know, but like that's so weird
takes time.
too. Because
these things take time.
But that's so weird too because it's like we're on the advanced. We're at the precipice of a lot of amazing things, but we're also showing signs of regression.
No, but see, that's the thing is like this all happened because of the internet.
Okay, yeah, true.
The vastness of information that we've gotten in such a short amount of time. It's like the internet for us, we grew up with it.
Yeah.
So we're seeing the changes. We are learning the information much more faster than our parents were.
Right.
A lot of their times there was no internet, right, for most of their life.
True. Yeah.
So the information they were getting were much more slower, and that ingrained into their way of thinking of the world.
Right.
And those are the people who still run the world.
Oh, true. Yeah, you're right. So that generation just has to like move on.
Well, yeah, as our generation comes up, as we get older, yeah, I think.
I don't even know if it's our generation though, because like.
Well, maybe not generally our, because we are more intertwined with internet, but like.
No. I mean like in our generation, I know a lot of people who have not embraced the internet still.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think we're right at the start of it, basically.
Yeah, right.
The precipice.
So we were at that point where it's like you're drawing a line in the sand. Either you're going to be like, this thing is evil and you're never going to go on, or you're just going to like jump full in. Yeah. Right.
Well, I feel like it's different for the younger people, younger than us at least.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I feel like when that generation moves into power, like then things will change even more.
It's funny because I was like, as I was going to go get the laundry, it's like I heard people talking about Jake Paul, the fight, and then they said like, oh, he said that he's already has remnants of CTE, and they were like talking about.
Oh yeah, true, yeah. And that was an interesting one because like, okay, so okay, I'm on the fence on this one because like Tara was saying you can show signs of it, but I'm like, but what would those signs be?
Yeah, you won't exactly know.
You won't know that's definitively it.
Cut open the brain.
Yeah, right. So it's like yeah, you may be showing signs, but their correlation isn't causation.
Yeah.
So it's like depression, for example, is it connected to CTE? Mm-hmm. So it's like, are you depressed or do you have CTE?
Right.
We can't draw a causal link.
You can't. We don't have something that can tell you right away.
Yeah, they can only like at your autopsy be like, oh, it was CTE the whole time. Mm-hmm. But you can make guesses, but those guesses might not even be linked to CTE.
Yeah, but I don't know how but CTE is it takes a long time for it to occur, right?
Yeah, and this guy just started boxing.
That's what I'm saying.
Started boxing.
Yeah, I don't think he.
So it's like, so then all the UFC fighters would have lots of CTE.
Yeah, I just don't think so. You have to have been like doing this since you were a kid, basically. And
you have to be wrecked. Like you have to be wrecked.
Yeah, yeah. Like, and if you keep winning like this, I don't know how many hits he even got.
Exactly, dude. Why? So like,
but I think what he's doing is he's using this as a great marketing way to like.
Totally.
That's what he's doing, and these guys are really good at that.
Yeah, how did
I mean, they were the YouTubers. Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Exactly. It's more like like mass manipulation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like that's another thing about this fight. When I watched it, I was like I didn't want to watch it, but at the same time I want to see what's gonna happen.
See?
So like I watched it, but I know it's just mass manipulation. Like you have no record, no actual like record of fighting other professionals. And yet you made the entire world believe that you're some skilled boxer.
Yeah.
It's craziness. it's they're like masters of marketing manipulation.
Yeah. No, they've been really good at that.
Oh, actually, in Tim Ferriss's book, Tara read me this passage, but like public relations, it was built off of, so the person who started it, he was fascinated with Hitler's ability to like mass manipulate people. Yeah. So he went there. He couldn't call it propaganda. So it was propaganda that Hitler used, right? So he went to, I think, New York and started a firm and dubbed it public relations. But it's propaganda. Like,
well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But like, they're just masters of propaganda.
Yeah.
Or public relations.
Marketing.
Yeah, it all falls under marketing. Yeah, it's so trippy, eh? Like, wow, you conned the entire world into believing you're some sort of box. But then,
their audience has always been young, right?
Yeah, true.
And they are much more easily manipulated.
Totally,
into believing in this. So, that generation is growing up with him believing that he's a boxer.
So it's like you just mind controlled a bunch of children. Mm-hmm. Dude, that's crazy to me. It's like, and we have aliens now, and we have a global pandemic, and we have like marketing play out on the most ridiculous level possible. It's almost like freaking Putin was right, you know, like what is the West doing, man? Like, come on.
Well, it's happening on everywhere, so it's not just the West.
I guess, but we don't have celebrity boxing fights. Although I'm sure they have other crazy stuff that's going on, you know, like Kim Jong-un being God.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's not like the whole world is watching a celebrity boxing fight. There's a certain portion of people, for sure.
But it's just like, this is where we are post 2020.
Well, yeah, I think I don't know what his YouTube fan base is, but he's like bringing in both sides, right? Like, not just his own fans, his brother's fans.
It's just weird. It's just weird.
Or other people that want to see him lose.
When you look at it as a social experiment, this is very odd. And like another social experiment, aliens. Another social experiment, pandemic.
Yeah, that's like probably what they're doing. Yeah, it's just.
You think the aliens are orchestrating this?
Oh no! I don't think it's no. I mean, you know, it's just be easier with the aliens if they just come out and said,
like, you know, oh, we're just messing with all of you.
Yeah, just introduce yourselves. Come on, just. Like, this is adding all more to the conspiracy.
Yeah,
right? It's just like,
dude, it's so gnarly that we have aliens. Like, undeniable proof.
At this point, why don't they just reveal themselves?
I think that's what June is gonna be. Like they said, the report is coming out June about all this, about like
Who said that?
I think it's Fox. It was in the longer version of that.
Oh, okay.
Video. I just cut up the shorter.
We'll see. I doubt they will reveal too much.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like this, didn't they say they were going to reveal something earlier? Then they didn't really reveal that much.
Maybe this was the thing that they're supposed to reveal. Oh, you mean the documents?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They talked about that, and it's like, Jeremy Corbell, he was talking about it. Uh-huh. He's like the lead UFO researcher.
Okay.
So like I always default to him, but he like read it and he's like, yeah, there's nothing really here. Like
in the documents,
there's nothing worthy here.
Right.
Like, you can read them, but they're.
Were there a lot of redacted things, or
no? It's just more like nothing, like conclusive.
Right,
it's not like yeah, we know aliens exist. It's more like on 2020.
I feel it's like the same thing that they're gonna do with the June thing.
We'll see though.
We'll see, but that's what they said with the documents. So
that's true. I'm waiting for Tom DeLonge's movies. So like he has a production company, To the Stars Academy, which studies like space and like alien spaceships and stuff. But they're also like a production company, and the objective is to make movies about how it's actually going here, like how the aliens are integrated with our lives, and then people will watch it like a Disney movie and be like, oh, that's interesting, and then later on it'll be like, oh, but that's true, by the way. So it's sort of like if you watch Men in Black and you're like, oh, that's crazy. Like it could be, or like Star Wars. Oh, it could be.
Yeah.
Or Star Trek, it could be. But then like later on, it's like, yeah, these are real. These are based off real events.
Right.
That's his objective.
Yeah,
so I'm waiting for that. That could be interesting. Yeah.
Okay. We'll see.
So I read the Alan Turing's Vision book, and like fascinating. Like it's so undeniable that we are robots, and that's another thing. Okay, all right. Actually, it's crazy. All right, let's just name all the crazy things that are happening post 2020. So I saw this thing now that they're like replace your wallet, keys, and ID. Your credit card, keys, and ID with a microchip in your wrist.
Okay.
And I was like, I'll do that. I like, like fobs. We were trying to get into our apartment. You have a fob.
Oh, yeah.
It'd just be like a fob in your wrist.
Right, yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so anyways, we have that coming. We have Neuralink coming. I don't even think we talked about Neuralink with the monkeys. Did we?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah. So they were able to create like monkeys who play video games with their minds. Pong. Played Pong.
Yeah, they were showing it with Pong, yeah.
And like, that's coming.
I was thinking maybe, is there a way for us to then end up communicating with animals?
That is what they were saying.
Oh, really?
With Neuralink, you won't need to communicate with thoughts. I mean, with words.
Words.
It'll be like, so this is really fascinating too. So like Joe Rogan was talking about it too, like Neuralink, you will instantly get the sense of what it is I'm trying to say without me telling you what it is. So you could feel what it is I'm trying to say. You sense something and you're like, you want to say something, but you can't put it into words.
Yeah.
So that sensation you would send to me.
See, I think communication would be much better then.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it'd be instantaneous. Yeah. Right.
Like to understand someone's perspective, or like, because even if I can tell my idea, it's like I can't really explain it.
You could see it in your head.
Yeah.
But like you can't articulate it well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So Neuralink will solve that problem. But so Joe Rogan was saying, like, if you look at Neuralink and you look at alien encounters, so like in the documentary, The Phenomenon, they come out of this ship in South Africa to little children.
Right.
And they communicate that the path you're headed on is going to destroy the world to the children. And then they're like, did they say that to you? And they're like, no, it was with their thoughts. But that's like Neuralink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how that would be. They're like, we could see it. We understood it intuitively. But like, they weren't talking English to us. They were like basically telepathy. That's what telepathy would be.
Yeah.
And like, then they visit. You should really watch the doc. I think you might like it. And then they revisit them as adults, and they like all the children that met the aliens.
Right.
And they're like talking about their experience, what they remember, all that stuff. Like, yeah. So we have that Neuralink. We're basically gonna become robots. So in the Alan Turing book, so the Turing test is like, how can you tell if you're human or robot, right? But then what he kind of proposes. So it turns out that he didn't make computer science. His theory, his book, is what computer science is based off of. His paper.
Yeah.
Right. The Imitation Game. That's where like he didn't like write code, but like his theory about where computers could go is where they base their ideas of how to build AI. And like what he's saying is that all of our world is run off of an algorithm. Right? Like every decision you make, you're weighing it. It's an algorithm.
Yeah.
Right? And like you intaking data is an algorithm. Like everything in this world can be described in mathematics and an algorithm. And that's what AI does. Like, I explain the thing with the Tesla auto drive. Because that's basically the exact same thing that we're doing with the picture instead of LiDAR.
Well, yeah, it's using cameras to do the to driving itself, following the lane or seeing where the cars are, seeing the signs. Yeah. Versus actually using radar, right? So it's
right. So radar would be like very like rudimentary, because it's like, okay, that's very basic. It's like it's sensing, okay, there's an object here.
But it doesn't know what the object is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But with pictures, which they said was much harder but has more data, is if you can look at a picture, you can see like that's a tree, that's a rock,
Right.
that's this, that's that,
Yeah.
right? And like the self-driving cars using pictures, so it's like it's looking basically when you look at a picture. So if you look out at the road, you see a tree, but you have to interpret all of the shape, all of your past experience to be like, you look at your historical reference to be like, that's a tree.
Right.
You know, you look at your historical reference, this is the road I have to drive on.
Yeah.
Those are algorithms, because you have to go, like, there's a mathematical equation for you to go back into your mind and like analyze it, compare, is this the same or not?
Yeah,
but
it's doing, well, that's what they say, like it's doing multiple calculations within a
instantaneously.
second.
But our brains do that too.
Yeah.
Okay. So they talked about quantum computing in the Joe Rogan with Brian Greene.
Okay.
Because Joe Rogan's like, what is this quantum computing everyone's talking about? So basically it's a really fragile, he's like, it looks like a chandelier. Like it visually looks like a chandelier.
Okay.
But it's got so many processors in it and it's so fragile that it can make insane computations in like milliseconds. Like stuff that would take like weeks for a normal computer to do, or months for a normal computer to do in seconds.
Okay.
Right? But it's extremely fragile. So like, okay. Think about our brains.
yeah.
That's exactly the, if you
Well, we're basically coming to the point where we're eventually going to create
building ourselves.
brains. Yeah. And building ourselves. Yeah.
Like, I think that like this creation of AI, when it's like, oh, we created AI, well, not us, but like humans created AI. And then you look at like the story of God, it's like man was created in God's image. That's literally the story of AI.
Yeah.
We're creating ourselves.
Yeah, where we have become the gods.
Yeah. And this idea of like quantum computing is like you're basically building a brain that's extremely fragile and needs to be protected in a skull, right?
Yeah.
Like you could see the parallels.
Yeah. I can see where it's going.
And then here's the crazier part. So if you watch Star Wars and they talk about what the Force is, and he said it's the living things inside of us. Remember that scene with Anakin when he's explaining what the Force is, and he's like, there are these things that live inside your cells and they tell you what to do. Little people, let's call them.
Yeah.
Okay. So the thing about a quantum computing computer is it has to be gigantic.
Right.
So what if we later create, like, these quantum computer things become like a brain, and we later build these human robots that are gigantic to house the brain, and we're the little things living inside the cell of that robot that it can hear.
Right.
Like the Force. But what if that's already happened to us? Like somebody built us.
Right.
And they're living inside of us, like super small, and like helping to direct what way we need to go.
Right.
Basically like instructions for a robot.
Yeah. This is more towards simulation again, right?
I'd say it's more like worlds within worlds.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it's a simulation, someone created that simulation. And who created that simulation?
Yeah. True. Yeah,
But
it's very similar to simulation theory. Yeah, true. So, I mean, it makes sense. I guess you could always make anything make sense, but I mean, the parallels are kind of interesting here. Quantum computers.
Yeah, but we
fragile.
also are just connecting things. Sometimes may not be connected, right?
It's confirmation bias.
Yeah.
But still, like,
No,
what
but
if the aliens are like, they've created us and they're just coming to check up on us? What if they're always checking up on us? Makes sense.
Maybe.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Like,
well, yeah, I'm just saying maybe, because everything can be a maybe.
True. All right. Fair. So do you think? Yeah. So we agree that like AI is basically humans. We you know, when they're like, we created robots, it's like, no, we created ourselves, man. That's literally what we did. I guess that's what artificial intelligence is. Actually, the crazy part is like, how do you How can you tell what a human is? How do you differentiate a human?
Yeah.
Well, there's two ways, Brian Greene was saying. Consciousness, but you and I can't test that. Like, I have to assume that you have an internal
There's
world.
no way right now to test someone's consciousness.
Yeah, you can't test that they have an inner world inside of them. And the second thing is creativity. But what is creativity except putting patterns together to make patterns in the future?
Yeah.
You're looking at previous patterns to make more patterns. So when people are like, oh, I don't know where that came from. Yeah, you don't know where it came from, but you're still using a previous pattern to create a future pattern.
Yeah.
Okay. So what does it mean that an AI program made the Amy Winehouse song that sounds like she recorded it herself? And it sounds better, because I'm not an Amy Winehouse fan. Not at all. I was like, when they started talking about her, I was like, let me go listen to her on Spotify. So I listened to it. I only like that one song. I don't even remember what that song is. It's like one of her famous Amy. No, Annie.
I don't know.
You know, that's gonna kill me. All right, wait, give me 1 second. I'm gonna look it up. All right, 1 second. I gotta find this because it's like it's right on Amy Winehouse. Oh, it's coming. Actually, I like ran. Oh no, here it is. Valerie.
I never heard of it.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't remember song names.
Oh, actually, Rehab's pretty good too. I'm looking at the top popular songs.
Okay.
Rehab and Valerie. So I only like those two songs, but this AI generated program song, I was like, this song is amazing. But it was made by AI.
Yeah.
So of course it'd be amazing, because it's like, well, most general public likes it when songs peak at this moment. Like, they're using algorithms.
Yeah.
Or we talked about this before, and I was wrong, apparently. The Spotify uses algorithms to come up with songs that you might like.
Yeah.
And remember I was saying like, with Apple is human generated. But I find that the Spotify ones are better. I thought the Spotify ones were human generated because I'm like, these are so good.
No. Yeah.
But it's like, no, it's computer generated.
Yeah.
And the computer generated ones, every one that suggests song, I'm like, dude, I love this song. I love this song. You know? So it's like, AI knows better. So what does that mean about choice? You know, it's like, if an AI can show you exactly what you want, did you choose that?
True. It's based on your past likes.
Determinism.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, we can predict up to 100% certainty that you'll like this over this.
Yeah. I don't think it's 100%, but 99%.
No, but I mean, like, if you could prove the mathematics to be...
True. Yeah. I mean, they keep learning. It's not like they just set it up. It keeps learning as it keeps going, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the autopilot. Like, it keeps getting better as you keep using it, and then they learn it. They do the updates. This is how it keeps getting better.
Yeah, totally. Better. Yeah, for sure. So, speaking of that, so like you're talking about like past. So, determinism can easily be summed up. Like, can be. I don't want to say proven, but the concept of determinism is this. In statistical mathematics, you can only get up to 99.9 ad infinitum certainty. Right? When I said like, 100% you're going to get, and you're like, well, only 99%, right? I was like, yeah, because they can't account for all variables.
Yeah.
So that's why it's 99%, 99.99999 ad infinitum. If you could account for every single variable in the universe, you would hit 100%.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
But there's no equation or algorithm to account for every single variable.
Yeah, and we don't know everything about the universe.
Yeah, true, exactly.
That's why.
Yeah, you also don't even know what you can include into those variables.
Yeah.
But if you could prove it mathematically.
Yeah.
And just because you can't prove the math right now doesn't mean you can't prove it in the future.
No.
So,
yeah.
So that's why everything is 100% determined. If you can prove the mathematics. We just can't do it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's not real.
Yeah.
You get the concept. Like, you just need to include all the variables. Okay. Yeah. And I think that's why AI is getting better and better, because it's including more and more variables using past experience.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So we got AI, half robots, aliens, cyborgs. I mean, not half robots. We're building ourselves. We got celebrity fights that make no sense. Yeah, and we're going to Mars.
Yeah. We'll go to the moon first. They've already set the contract with NASA, with SpaceX.
There you go. We're going to the moon.
So land on the moon. Yeah.
If you really take into totality all of the craziness that's going on, it's a weird time to be alive. I mean, like, already saying like with the pandemic,
it was an interesting time to be alive, I'll just say.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know if we're again. It's like half of us are regressing, half of us are moving forward. Like Elon Musk moving forward. The celebrity boxing fight yesterday, regressing. But like that's just like playing to our base or needs.
Or it can be both. Yeah, it's like you can enjoy that, but also probably like the Elon stuff. I think it can happen.
Yeah, true. All humanity is a juxtaposition.
Yeah.
And a juxtaposition is the contrast of two ideas, meaning it's a hypocrisy. So human beings are innately
filled with hypocrisy.
Yeah, human beings are innately hypocritical.
Yeah. But that's what makes it fun, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So, I was gonna talk about like the Abrahamic religions again, but I feel like we've beaten those to death. So I'll just leave that one alone. It's because of the Story of God, the documentary.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't even finish it. It's terrible.
It was very much. I don't think I finished it either when I did first originally watch it when it first came out, but I think it was just too basic.
Yeah, it was like what
language like, too basic. Of like we've learned that stuff already.
Yeah. But it was interesting when he framed it like Abrahamic religions or like Christianity, specifically Christianity, is the only one that like has the conquering of death, which is like our biggest fear, and it explains why it passed throughout the whole world because people are afraid of death.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like the Hindus believe that death is just like a
cycle.
Stage,
right? It's a cycle thing.
Yeah. The Jews didn't believe in death. They believed in death, sorry, but they didn't believe in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get into the Muslim religion, but Christianity was the only one that's like Jesus rising back from the dead proves that good over evil. But that's only if you present death as evil.
Yeah, I wonder what the Muslim thing is, because they don't believe him to have died on the cross, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. They took so maybe it's not Abrahamic religions, maybe it's just Christianity that's like the blight on the world.
Yeah.
Because they took that idea and they're just like fear-mongering, you know? Like, because that's what they did with...
Well, they all... I wouldn't say... Even with the Jew religion, it's not like they don't go around converting people. That's not what they do. You only have...
Right.
You have to be born a Jew.
Oh, yeah, true, yeah.
Right. But Christianity, you can spread that. And Muslim, you can spread that.
Right.
Because it's also the fear of going to hell.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, if you actually look into how Christianity got so popular, it was with Constantine. I learned this when we visited Rome, and the Constantine guy, he was a pagan. Okay. He believed in, but his mom was Christian.
Right.
And
okay.
Then when he was going to die, he's like, I don't want to die. I need somebody to save me. So the Christians were the only ones that said, if you repent for your sins, we'll like take you
right.
So he's like, all right, I'm going to heaven. So he converted, and then that's why everyone from there became Christian.
Yeah.
It was Constantine in Rome who started it. Yeah, I mean that's also where the Vatican is, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's weird, eh? Like the ramifications of this one race, the Romans. Really like But what's crazy is if you think about it, like Romans are like the god of war. They worshipped Mars, right? Or Apollo. No, Apollo is sorry, that's Greeks. But they worship the god of war. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean their thinking is
Conquering.
To make something in this world is to conquer.
Yeah. So
that means you've left something behind to be remembered for.
Yeah, exactly. Your legacy.
Yeah.
So if you look at it like that as well, it's like, of course the world is poisoned because Western mentality is based off of the ideals of the god of war. wow, this is like so dark. Like you're like you're like, this is so messed up, but it's like, no, this is the reality of the situation. Like, this is actually.
I mean,
the truth.
they're. I mean, it's not like they were the only ones that conquered. There are the latest ones that we're living in their remnants of their conquering, right?
No, but you based your entire ideology off the god of war.
But yeah.
So
No, I'm saying like, I'm saying like, but anything if you go to war, you're praising God of War, or their version of
asking for
so that you don't die, you win this fight.
What about like living in harmony?
Yeah, they would die.
I know,
because you're facing a person who's going to take over your place.
Kill you. Yeah,
living in harmony is not going to work.
So I mean, like, so of course we poison the planet.
Like, what? But that's what we've always lived in tribes versus tribes.
But I get no, totally so. But when we were a part of the animal kingdom, we were just like a species, right?
Right, but you would still have clashes.
No, but at least there was not a lot of you that it didn't get out of hand.
Because I guess, I mean,
like the balance, right? Like we would have been hunting, and it's not until agriculture when we started to like really stop and like grow things. That's actually in the book Sapiens. Everything started when agriculture started.
Yeah, because then you build a home.
Yeah.
Once you've built a home, then now you've got property, and you want to protect that.
And not only that, it gives you time. Because before we spent all of our time hunting and gathering. Yeah. But then when agriculture started, you'd spend like 2 hours tilling the soil, and the rest of your day is like, just think, what do you want to do next?
Right. So boredom
caused
this.
Oh yeah, you could say that. Or some would call it creativity. It depends on what.
Well, I guess what do you want to call it? The base, the boredom caused creativity to cause this.
True. There you go. Hypocrisy again. The negative and the positive. One would call boredom negative, and then creativity positive. Yeah. Human beings. Okay. One more thing before we get into Winter Soldier. So I read the Sense of Being Stared At. So, okay. This actually just goes back to determinism, goes back to mathematics, goes back to our instincts. So he's agreeing. He's saying that there's psychic phenomenon that's real.
Okay.
And when you read about it, he's attributing it to us, our sixth senses psychic abilities. I don't think it's psychic abilities. I think it's combining all of our senses plus logic to quickly, like, mathematically come up with the answer before it happens. Okay, so some psychic abilities are like, and we've all felt this, it's like when you can read somebody else's mind.
Right.
Let's say if you're like, we're having a conversation and you're about to say something, I say it before you do. Yeah. Psychic ability. When you're thinking about somebody and then the phone call rings and it's that person. Another one's like your dog waiting for you when they get home. Your dog also knows when you're looking at them.
Okay.
Right. But in each of those instances, you're utilizing all of your senses plus logic to, so like, how did the dog know? I'm sure the dog heard you turn your head. Like they have like, I'm sure you're like, your blood, your heart rate probably increased. We probably give something off when we're looking at another animal. Like there are all these like stimuli we don't even know that the dog is experiencing because we are looking at them. Like there's like physiological changes in our body that I'm sure the dog's picking up on. Like for example, when I wake up in the morning, if I wake up and I don't move because I don't want Athena to like know that I'm awake, she'll know I'm awake. She'll just be like, oh yeah, you're awake now.
Well, there's something different happen.
Exactly.
She sensed that something different happened.
And then be like, hey, you're awake.
Yeah.
So it's like, is that psychic ability? No. You're just thinking it's psychic ability because you're like lying there like, I'm tricking the dog. But it's like, you're not really tricking the dog. The dog's like, oh, your breathing changed.
Yeah.
You stopped moving. Your heart rate went up.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like these quote unquote psychic phenomenon are completely logical. And I just think it all comes down to instinct. Like what I would term is instinct. Because like that's what like instinct is what I call like mathematical computation without having to do the math. It's like you intuitively know something.
Right.
I don't use intuition because like everyone's like, oh, it's called intuition, but intuition is a part of instinct. Like to know something isn't the full gamut of what instinct could be, you know?
Okay. Right.
Like I don't know how else to put it. Because
we need a Neuralink.
Yeah, we do. And then you'd be like, oh, that's what you mean. No, because in martial arts, like there are moments of psychic ability in martial arts. Like, for example, when you're sparring, right?
Okay.
You know you're going to throw the kick.
Yeah.
But that's not intuition. It might be intuition. That's a piece of intuition, but also like your instinct to like react to that.
Right.
Intuition doesn't make you react.
Mm-hmm.
So like the reason why I call it instinct is because there's cause and effect. So instinct would be like you interpreting the cause, and then effect is you reacting to it.
Yeah, right.
That's why I call it instinct. Like how you know to pick up the phone. Intuition might be telling you like they're going to call soon, but the fact that you moved is like, you know what I'm saying? Like a one-way version of communication would be intuition. You're receiving data.
Yeah.
But you reacting according to that data is instinct. That's the full picture.
Got you. Yeah.
You need to do something, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, sure, I know, but I'm not doing anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like intuition feeds into instinct.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at the end of the day, it's instinct because instinct forces you to move. Right. So like when you're sparring, my intuition is you're going to kick me because I could see all of you, like I could see your hip movement. Mm-hmm. But if you ask me, I'm like, how'd you know he was going to kick? I just knew.
Yeah.
But
no, right. But there's so many things. Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's what this quote unquote psychic ability
like you
is.
saw like a slight shift of his weight or like something. Yeah.
But it's just like determinism. Just because you don't know the cause doesn't mean there's no cause to the effect, you know? And just because you don't know the reason why in that moment doesn't mean it's psychic ability. It's like you literally took in all the data.
Right.
And you just like, well, I haven't heard from that person in a while. We are supposed to call, like typically we call at this time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or like don't even forget about our what do you call that internal clock?
Internal.
We have an internal clock. Our circadian rhythm. So that's what they call their internal clock. That's how you know. So you know when you wake up like 2 minutes before your alarm?
Yeah.
It's because your body has an internal clock.
Well, okay. Yeah,
right? Yeah. And again, he would call that psychic, but it's like, it's not psychic. It's like, again, circadian rhythm plus your expectation plus your intention. You know what I mean? Like all those things feed into your instinct of waking up at that time.
Yeah.
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 And it's weird too, because like, so Athena will always wake me up at like 12:40 every day. I'll know it's 12:40 because she'll bark, and then it means like I want to come up to the bed, and I'll turn on my clock to see it every time. It's always 12:40, and I'm like, this is weird. She doesn't know what the time is, but there's something in her like internal clock is telling her like, now I must do this at this time.
Yeah. Right.
You know. Right. Weird, right? Yeah. Even last night when we were watching the UFC fight, it was 12:40. Or around 12:40. I guess this wasn't perfect. It was like maybe 12:38, something like that.
Well, something was different. We were out here versus.
No, I remember I was in the room.
Okay. Oh, it was at that time.
Yeah. So it was at that time. So I was like, I was watching it on my phone.
Okay.
And then she motioned to get up, and I was like, what time is it? I looked at it, 12:38, something like that. I was like, what? How did you know?
Yeah.
But it's like in her that 12:40, I'm gonna get back on the bed for some reason.
Right.
Not psychic though.
No.
It's like instinct.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Final thing. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What do you think?
Leading up to something great.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the BLM in it. Mm-hmm. They were like really putting on thick in this episode.
They weren't really shying away. This one was really in it.
Straight up, really like there. Even when he said like, we don't want to see a black Captain America.
Yeah. I was like, whoa.
I know. And I was like, that's like a black president too. Same thing, right?
Right.
Like he's going through the same feeling of like what Obama would have felt, you know, like you're the leader of the free world now, and you're like also black. It's like, whoa. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought it was really impressive. I love that they put these undertones in there. Yeah. It's weird though that the white guy's like so evil. They're like kind of layering that on a little too thick there, you know.
Well, then I guess it was like someone that wore the shield became the villain, right? So kind of.
Yeah, true. At least he's in an interracial couple, so that's kind of cool. His wife's like Spanish or something.
Something like that.
Yeah. I think I'm wrong though. Remember, I was like, I think it's Carly who's. Yeah, it's Carly. Okay,
Carly,
cool.
Carly, yeah.
Cool. It's Carly. I thought Carly was gonna become the Captain America, but it seems like they're gonna make Sam the Captain America. Do you think he'll become like actual Captain America or what? He'll still be Falcon. Falcon with a Captain America.
Yeah,
shield?
I want to see what that suit looks like.
Oh, the one that they gave him.
Yeah, he got from Wakanda.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
So I want to see what that looks like.
Yo, what if he becomes the Black Panther, bro? Yo, what? Because they need a new hero for Black Panther.
Yeah,
too.
but I don't know. He's not really a Wakandian, so.
True.
I don't think that's how it works.
Oh god, I'm kind of worried about Black Panther 2. I don't know where they're gonna take it.
I don't know. We'll have to see. They'll try to do justice.
White Wolf, bro. White Wolf becomes the Black Panther.
But they can't do that.
I know. That's just like straight. Like whoa, you undid the whole like BLM thing by putting a white dude in charge.
Right, but it was a good lesson for the Winter Soldier.
Okay, what?
When him and Sam were talking, it's like you were.
You need to be of service.
Yeah, you need to do something.
Yeah.
To change someone's life versus just asking for forgiveness. That's not going to do anything. Or saying sorry.
Actions over words, bro.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. Which was totally right.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, this is one of my favorite series. I gotta say, it's really, really good.
One more episode, right?
Yeah, I'm quite sad about that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not going to. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of cliffhangers, and I'm gonna be upset.
Well, yeah, it's going to lead up to the second season.
Was there cliffhangers in WandaVision?
Well, there was something like after the cutscene, so yes, you can say, yeah.
But like they wrapped up what they
wrapped up that story, what was happening, but it leads to something else. We don't know.
Okay. Yeah. So I wonder if this one, if it'll wrap.
I think it's gonna be the same thing. I don't think. I think there might be a season 2.
Hopefully
it won't
soon.
be fully.
What's next after this one? Loki,
but that's in like June.
March, April, May.
Got a whole month to wait.
Yeah, true. It's not too bad. And when does the Obi-Wan Kenobi thing come out?
I don't even know if they started filming yet. Did they start filming?
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
They have a lot of things set up. Probably by end of this year, should be some stuff coming out.
Okay. So, well, I mean, whatever. 4 weeks.
They're working on the
Boba.
Loki. Is it Boba Fett? Or one of the Fetts.
Oh, that's cool.
So they're doing that story.
Nice.
So that was he entered in The Mandalorian.
Oh, that's cool.
So then they're doing a spin-off for him.
I still haven't seen The Mandalorian though. I'm not into it. I'm hoping Obi-Wan Kenobi will be sick, but we'll see.
Yeah, they're doing. There's quite a lot that they're doing. So
are you excited for Matrix 4?
Excited? I mean, I haven't seen anything, so sure. I like Matrix, but we'll see how that is.
I don't know. What do you?
I don't know what they're going to talk about.
I don't think Lawrence Fishburne's in it either.
Okay, so it's a whole nother story.
No, I think he just didn't want to be a part of it. He's like, let it live.
Right.
You know. No
I don't even know. I don't know anything about it, so we'll just wait and see.
Yeah. All right. Exciting next couple of months.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really hoping they end the story and not leave a giant cliffhanger for Falcon Winter Soldier. That would suck. To me, that would suck.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how long the next episode's going to be too. So we'll see.
Oh, you think it's be an hour or something?
Could be an hour.
Really?
Could be.
Did they do that? Oh well, no. WandaVision was like different lengths, right? I heard that somewhere that like some episodes are shorter and some are longer. It's kind of weird.
Well, I think that they have. I think when you have the right story, it's like, why add things that you don't need to add?
I suppose, yeah.
So I don't mind that any episode is different lengths.
I suppose, yeah.
Just because they don't have to fit to a TV, You know what I mean? Like
true, but
you gotta do
they
it
didn't
all.
really do that with Falcon the Winter Soldier. Everyone's been the same length.
They've been changed. They've been slightly different.
Yeah, like what, 2 minutes?
I don't know. I didn't actually watch the time, but yeah.
I think they're all generally like, they all feel like they're within the 20-minute range, something like that.
20 minutes?
No, or whatever. It's.
I don't think it's 20 minutes. It's about 50 minutes. 40 to 50 minutes, I think.
Oh shoot! Wow, my internal clock was wrong there. They all felt like 20 minutes to me. They're like, oh, they're so short.
Well, that means they're good.
It's like
good.
Time sucked in.
Yeah, I don't think it was. I think it was like 40 to 50.
Okay, well, it's like what, 5 minutes? It's nothing.
Yeah.
Wow, that feels so long now when you say it like that. But like when I'm watching, like
Let me
the
double
time
check
like
that.
burns by. Doesn't feel long at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, 40 minutes. Checking.
Checking. Yeah, there's around 45 to 55.
Okay, so they're all
each
still
episode is around that. Yeah.
Generally the same. Yeah. All right. So next week. Oh, I guess next week will be our wrap up series for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Now that
if it is the last episode.
If it is. Oh, it will be though. It
is, right?
2. Yeah.
Only 2? Okay,
so
it is the
only 2
last
left.
episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of sad. All right. Till next week. Take easy, fish.
Peace.
All right. Hope you enjoyed that episode. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all those fun things, and check out our sponsors: Zenro Clothing Co., Portian Bakery, and Podbean. Take it easy, fish.
Peace.